How is it going, everybody? This is RVT coming at you with my Senior Bowl recap video. The South wins 20-10 over the North squad. And another one of those very, very simple, bland college showcase all-star games. I usually go to the Senior Bowl. I've been the past, 7, 8 seasons, and this first year didn't get to go. I just didn't get a ticket, never got a chance to get a ticket, really. But I got to watch it on TV. It was kind of weird watching my city on TV in an all-star game. But like I said, in summary, this game was very bland, as they always are. But there was a few key players I saw that disappointed and were pretty, I guess you can say, disappointing and kind of surprising. David Fales from San Jose State, he played very well. That surprised me. He threw a pick late, but I believe he ended up 6 of 7 over 100 yards. The only quarterback there for 100 yards in this game. And I believe he tossed a touchdown pass. He had 1 touchdown pass in the game. That was to Kevin Norwood of Alabama, and I wanted to get there too. He looked very impressive as well. I've heard Kevin Norwood's had a great week at a Senior Bowl practice, and also had a very good game today. Had over 50 yards receiving and a touchdown pass, so good game from Kevin Norwood. And next we had Derek Carr. He looked pretty good for the most part. Earlier on he looked better. Maybe he got a little bit worse over the span of the game, but he looked solid. Looked like he had a live arm. Got to throw the ball down the field a little bit, and he looked pretty good. He was the most hyped quarterback coming into this week, and he performed well. And next, I want to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo, however you say his name. I really hyped him up coming into this. He looked really good in the East-West Shrine game. I researched him a little bit, looked a little at his film, and he looked very good. Although he was pretty disappointing in this game. I think he ended up 6 of 12. I'm going to tell you the final stats. I'll end up saying them anyway. He was 6 of 12, 32 yards, didn't throw a touchdown or a pick. But he showed he has a quick release, a strong arm, a live arm. He has a little bit of mobility. He has some stuff to work on, obviously. But I thought he, for the most part, looked a little below average, but I think he'll be okay. I mean, you got to think, there's been quarterbacks come throughout here that's looked very average and bad in the Senior Bowl. I remember a couple years ago when Russell Wilson came through, I was there, and I thought it was a joke. He looked bad, very bad in the Senior Bowl, and what do you know? Next week he's bringing his team to the Super Bowl. So that is that. So you can't. I'm not sure if you really take too much from this game, but there were still some players that struggled, and one of those players was Tajh Boyd. He's had the worst week, I think, out of any player there, and that's why I've had a lot of questions. I came out with my top 10 quarterback breakdown prospects going into the draft. Tajh Boyd was on the list, and I had a lot of questions. Why is Tajh Boyd on the list? You forget him? No, I didn't. He's looked very, very bad this week in practice. Some NFL general managers actually have referred to him as undraftable, which is not a good thing if you want a big pick high in the draft. So he didn't look good. He didn't look good in today's game either. He was inaccurate. He had a couple nice throws here and there, but for the most part, just he had a lot of balls batted down at the line of scrimmage early on. His height is a factor. It's one thing to be short and have a high release, and he's pretty short with pretty much a sidearm release. I'm not a complete sidearm release, but more of, I guess, a 3/4 release. So that's going to be an issue, I think, and he'll have to fix that. And also, Stephen Morris didn't look too impressive either. I think he ended up with the most yards on the North. What team was he on? Was he on the North? Why was that guy from Miami? I just hit my head. Why was a guy from Miami on the North team? But he ended up 10 of 18, 89 touchdowns, 89 yards, and 2 interceptions. So he was pretty iffy from what I saw. He actually had some nice throws here and there, but for the most part, kind of shaky. And Logan Thomas, we didn't see much of him. He played 1 drive or 1 or 2 drives, and he was out of there. So that was, I don't know what was up there. I'm not sure if he got hurt or anything, but that is that. Other receivers that looked pretty solid was the Crockett Gilmore tight end out of Colorado State. Pretty funny. He was just a late add-in after somebody opted out. He came in, got the first touchdown of the game. He ended up 61 yards on 5 receptions and with that 1 touchdown. That was, I believe, that was from Derek Carr. That was Derek Carr's 1 touchdown. So looks pretty solid there. Not too many receiving standouts on the North squad. James White was pretty much the best running back in this whole game. He ended up with 61 yards on a touchdown. David Fluellen from Toledo also played pretty well. Had 44 yards on the ground. And that was about it there. Charles Sims, He returned a few punts, returned a few kicks. He looked pretty solid there, but he didn't get much action running the football. He only had 3 carries for 8 yards. And then you had Lorenzo Taliaferro, he's a running back out of Coastal Carolina, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. He had 31 yards on the ground, led the South team in rushing. Nobody else got anything going on the ground. This is primarily, they all threw the ball pretty much the whole entire game. Well, the South did. North ran the ball a little bit more than the South, but pretty bland game there, as this will not load for me. I believe Taliaferro is the running back out of Coastal Carolina. But then you had standouts on the offensive line, Zach Martin. They were talking about him all game long. He was pretty solid, and from what I've heard, he's might have very easily played his way into the first round, which is pretty solid. I could see him grabbing that, maybe a late first round pick, maybe to the Saints. They need to tackle. Wouldn't surprise me there. And then defensively, the standouts, probably D Ford from Auburn, had a couple sacks in the game, very solid, played well, dominated the offensive line of these North teams. So very good game from D Ford, and I'm not sure if he worked his way into the first round. There's some potential there. You have to have a good combine, pro day, etc. But he looked really solid and looked like he can be an early second round pick at worst, really. So not too much else, just a very bland game, and a South wins 20-10. So I'll leave it at that, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Please hit the like button if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/S3RTR. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about this game, and let me know who you thought was the most impressive quarterback, running back, receiver, and defensive player in the game. And let me know who some of your team's targets did, and let me know who some of your team's targets are, and let me know how they did in the game. So I guess I'll leave it at that. Once again, hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more NFL draft coverage. I'll come at you with a recap of the Pro Bowl tomorrow. I'll catch you guys then. As always, roll Tide, go Sox, and Titans to you. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.